Good evening, and welcome to those who are our guests for our 2023 CCP Virtual Transition Day. For those who are in attendance, we'll begin in just a few minutes. If you haven't done so, be sure to utilize the QR code or the link that is shown on the screen to sign in. So, students, if you are a guest on this evening for the event, be sure to sign in using the QR code or the link that you see displayed on the screen. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome all to those who are here for the 2023 CCP Virtual Transition Day event. So we'll begin shortly. But students, if you haven't done so, make sure that you utilize the QR code or the link that is displayed on the screen to sign in. So again, for students who are in attendance, make sure that you utilize the QR code or the link to sign in for attendance purposes. Thank you. All righty. We're gonna go ahead and get started. All right. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well on this fine evening. For those who don't know me, my name is Elvin James. I currently serve as the director of the Career and College Promise program here at Wake Tech. And I will be your host for this evening's event, the 2023 CCP Virtual Transition Day. So, for those who are in attendance, we would like to welcome you to the event. We have some great things in store for you all. Some great information and definitely some great giveaways for some lucky winners on tonight. So we thank you for joining us on this evening. Just a few housekeeping rules that I just want to go over. For those who are in attendance, we do ask that you keep your microphones and your videos off as we go through the throughout the event. So ensure that your microphones and your videos are off. Also, there is a chat box that is available for any questions that you may have. We will have a Q&A session as part of the program on this evening. But if there's a particular question that you want to ask as we go through, feel free to utilize the chat box that we have available. Again, as a reminder, if you missed it as you came in on this evening, be sure to sign in to receive credit for attendance. As most of you all know, you will receive priority registration for the fall 2023 term if you plan to come to Wake Tech as a traditional student. So please ensure that you do sign in to receive credit for attending this event. And lastly, we will have a survey that will be available to you all to tell us or let us know how we did in regards to the event. So again, thank you all for coming, and we will go ahead and get started. I will have the QR code and the sign-in link available within later slides if you miss it. But again, thank you all for coming. Just a quick note or a quick reminder, we will be having open house on Saturday, April 1st from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We will have open house on two campuses. We'll have Wake Tech staff and faculty on our Scott Northern Wake campus, and we will also have Wake Tech faculty and staff on our Perry Hill Sciences campus. Be sure to utilize the QR code as you can see on the screen to register for the event. It will bring you to our visit.waketech.edu page, and you will have to register and select the campus that you plan to attend. So definitely come out to learn more about Wake Tech, some of which you are here on tonight, but come out to have a good time. There will be a lot of different things that will be taking place during the open house. So we would love to have you all out join us on this upcoming Saturday. Just a real quick thank you to first our CCP graduating seniors or CCP students who will be transitioning out of high school. So definitely a virtual hand clap to you all for the hard work that you've not only done within CCP, but the hard work that you've done in high school in general. So definitely a kudos and a congratulations to you all. Also, we want to thank the parents as well, the parents and the guardians for the role that you all have played to helping your student get to this process of not only attending transition day, but working to get them towards high school graduation. So we definitely want to thank the parents that are in attendance tonight as well, just to say thank you for all that you've done to get to this point. So thank you and congratulations to you all. We try to make Transition Day a little bit interactive, especially in the world of virtual reality. So, for the students who are on with us tonight, we have a question for you, and we want to put or see your answers in the chat box. So, we have a question of what did you gain from participating in the CCP program? So, what did you gain from participating in the CCP program? Feel free to put your answers in the chat area so that we can see your responses. So we would love to hear from you all, students, in terms of what you gained from your experience within CCP, whether it was your first semester, whether it was a few semesters in, or if it is your last semester and you're about to get your associate's degree. So let us know, what did you gain from participating in the CCP program? Let's see. Malcolm says free college credit, definitely, of course. Brandon says, I gained confidence. Sophia says, it has made me more prepared as to what to expect in college. Abigail says, time management skills, wonderful. So, yes, continue to put your responses and answers in the chat area. We would love to hear from you all. All right, we're going to go over the agenda for this evening just to kind of give you an idea of how Transition Day works. So, we're going to go over the purpose of this event. We're going to introduce the staff and the presenters that are in attendance on tonight. Then we're going to spin the CCP big wheel. That's always a highlight of Transition Day. And then we'll get into the actual presentations. We'll go over our admissions overview, financial aid, academic advising, and registration and records. Then we'll have the questions and answers portion. And then we're going to spin the CCP big wheel once again, and then we're going to conclude the event. So that's our agenda for this evening. All right. The purpose of CCP Transition Day. The purpose of this event is to assist our current CCP students with navigating the processes to become a traditional student with us here at the college. We have invited staff from other areas of the college. They will be providing information to help guide you in becoming a general admission student here at the college after completing high school. Students attending this event will receive priority registration. So our admissions and CCP staff, we have our Dean of Admissions and Outreach, Santrell Cation. Again, my name is Elvin James. I currently serve as the director of the CCP program. And we have 5 wonderful enrollment and academic advisors who I cannot brag enough about. So we have Lauren Blanchett, Adam Dickens, Jack LaFranchi, Danielle Parsons, and Sean Lilly. Uh, my team members will be in the background assisting with any questions that you may have that you may pose in the chat box as we go throughout the event. Then we have our Cooperative Innovative High School program staff. So we have Terry Allen, who serves as the Dean of Educational Pathways and Partnerships. And we also have each of the directors from each of the Cooperative Innovative High Schools with us also. So we have Gina Boudry, who's the director of Vernon Malone College and Career Academy, Angela Graham, who serves as the director of Wake Early College of Health and Science, James Sanders, who serves as the director of North Wake College and Career Academy, and Will Kinsey, who serves as the director of Wake Early College of Information and Biotechnologies, which is our new CIHS. And we're going to introduce our session presenters. So on tonight, we have Molly Belcher, who serves as our coordinator of admissions information services from our admissions office. We have David, better known as Ross Sinotis, who serves as a financial aid outreach specialist from the financial aid office. We have Tori Halbert, who serves as an academic advisor for our academic advising department. And then we have Tamika Bias, who serves as a registration services coordinator for the registration and records office. With that being said, we're going to go into spinning the CCP big wheel. So this is, again, one of the biggest highlights that we have as part of Transition Day, where 2 lucky winners that are in attendance on tonight will receive some wonderful Weight Tech swag and gifts at the conclusion of the event. So we're going to spin the CCP big wheel at this very moment, and then we're going to spin the CCP big wheel once again. So if you didn't read the verbiage during the registration process, the first 40 students that registered for the event would have their name placed on one of the big wheels. So we're going to spin the first big wheel to see who's going to win some Weight Tech swag and also a $25 gift card compliments of the North Carolina State Employees Credit Union Bank. So with the first spin, our first winner is, drum roll please, Xavier Wilson. So Xavier, if you're here, give us a holler in the chat box just to let us know that you are here so that we can get in contact with you at the conclusion of the event. Oh, there we go. Hey, Xavier. So you are our first winner of the CCP Big Wheel Spin. So congratulations to you. And again, we will get in contact with you in regards to you receiving your gift and your gift card. With that being said, we will start with the first presentation. Again, we will have Molly Belcher, who serves as our coordinator of admissions information services from our admissions office. So we're gonna bring Molly up, and Molly, we'll let you take it away.
Good evening. I'm sorry. Thank you, Elvin, and thank you everyone for attending tonight. And again, as Elvin mentioned, this is a big kudos for you all because it's a great accomplishment that you've made, matriculating, of course, to your high school years and now from high school into college. So kudos. We commend your courage, commitment, dedication, determination, and all of that. So thank you and congratulations. So the vision for our admissions, we will reach students in every part of Wake County and rally around them to go as far as their dreams, talents, and resilience take them. And that basically aligns with the college mission and vision as well. Facts and figures about Wake Tech. So we are the largest community college in the state of North Carolina. And we serve roughly 70,000 students. That includes our curriculum and non-curriculum through our workforce continuing education. The average class size is 21. There are 250 curriculum programs here at Wake Tech. That includes our associate's degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Wake Tech associate's degree graduates who transfer to a four-year university in our UNC system outperform native UNC juniors. Wake Tech serves 1 out of 10 Wake County adults. Some of our campuses that you see here, and we have, or Wake Tech has strategically placed our campuses throughout Wake County so that we are able to conveniently serve any student who wishes to come to Wake Tech and take classes with us. So we have the Southern Wake campus, we have Scott Northern, Western Wake, Perry Health Sciences, RTP, and Public Safety Education. And again, you can see here those our 10 locations, including our campuses, that they are strategically placed throughout the county. And if you want more information about locations, please feel free to go to locations.waketech.edu to explore our different locations. Career fields. So as you're deciding, and most of you probably already know because you've had that experience with CCP, so you know what you want, but just so that you're familiar with our career fields, they are listed here. Please feel free to snap any of these shots so that you can go back at a later time. Academic opportunities, associates in applied sciences, associates in arts, associates in science, fine arts, engineering, and again, a host of certificate and diploma programs, more than 250 or more. Distant education. So we do, of course, many of you know, but we do offer or have the options to take classes on campus, take our classes online, or do a combination of two, which is a hybrid model. And some of our online programs that are completely online, as you will see here, are, and these are just a few, accounting, project management, advertising and graphic design, associates of arts, baking and pastry arts, business administration, business analytics, medical office administration. And if you care to learn more about our online programs, please visit online.waketech.edu. University transfer. So this is basically where the student will takes 2-year transfer program and then transfer those college over to a 4-year college so that you can complete your bachelor's on top of your associate's degree. Seamless transfer pathway with 50 plus North Carolina public and private institutions includes the Associates of Arts and Science. 2+2 programs for associates in applied science program graduates. And you can see here associates in engineering, transfer pathway partners, and you see the list of schools. Some of those are East Carolina University, North Carolina A&T State University, North Carolina State University, UNC Charlotte, and Western Carolina University. The fine arts would be Appalachian State University, East Carolina University, UNC Asheville, Chapel Hill and Charlotte and Greensboro, Western Carolina University, and Savannah College Arts and Design. If you would like more information on our transfer programs and to understand which programs will transfer to where and to what program, please visit transfer.waketech.edu. University transfer. And I don't want to take any thunder from or any shine from advising. They will go deeper into this, but I had to include some of this because you can't do admissions without knowing the foundation. So the top 10 transfer schools, North Carolina State University, East Carolina, UNC Charlotte, University of North Carolina, UNC Wilmington, Appalachian State, UNC Greensboro, Campbell University, Meredith College, and North Carolina Central University. Again, university transfer benefits may include career and financial aid and academic advising for both Wake Tech and the 4-year advisor, guaranteed admissions, access to university campus resources. And again, I won't go deep into that. Advising will likely share more. Special admissions program, North Carolina State has the C3, East Carolina had the Pirate Promise, UNC Chapel Hill has the C-STEP, and Appalachian State University has the Aspire. Student support services. As you know, we really embrace, Wake Tech really embrace your academics and we care about your success as a student. So we have lots of different resources that are available to you as a student, and we want you to take advantage of these. Some of those resources would be Individualized Learning Center, which is our IOC, also known as our tutoring center. They will help you with papers, math, whatever you have, they have someone to guide you through. And many of the times, the instructors are coming from the classroom, going into different sessions to help you with these areas of need. Career and employment resources, English as a foreign language, advising, and student success. And again, visit studentsupport.waketech for more information. Thank you. Student support services, counseling and support. So we have our military and veteran services. Disability support services is also there for your need. Student advocacy and support. And that student advocacy and support really covers a lot of different resources that are available to you. And again, we want you to take advantage of, such as the food pantry, any needs that you may need as far as housing information or funding information. Student advocacy and support is there to support you. Student support services, our care center, which is really huge. Student success coaches are there, transportation assistance, the NEST, as we mentioned, minority meal mentoring, emergency aid, wellness services, fostering bright futures, student money management. And we all need to take advantage of that one. Thank you. Student support services, IOC, English as a foreign language, academic. I think we talked about some of these, so we can go to the next slide. Career and employment resources. If you are needing support with your college majors, exploring different pathways, or to investigate your interests and to really dive deep into what you really want to do, personality, values, career and employment resources is the area that will provide those assistance. And they also have open labs. So this means that you will be able to just kind of walk in as long as it's during the hours per campus that they are there on campus. But it's a walk-in lab. To get more information on this particular service, visit careers.wigtech.edu. Career and employment resources, one-on-one sessions for job search strategies, mock interviews, preparing your resume. Those guys will also be able to support you in that endeavor. Athletics, we have the men's baseball, basketball, soccer, women's basketball, beach volleyball, indoor volleyball, soccer, softball, and we have our co-ed esports. And on the next couple of slides, you'll just kind of see some views of the different sports. And that's the esports, 14 students competed, competition stations in that particular lab, the latest gaming technology, and competing in the 2021 Collegiate Esports National Championship. So very, very proud of our esports program. So now let's get to talking about you now know, how to explore programs, how to explore your transfer options. Let's talk about what we need to do to get you admitted to the college. So the requirements would be a high school, completed your high school in the US. The admissions and the placement is based on your unweighted GPA. So we do use your GPA to place you. Completed high school outside of the US, admissions and placement is based on the RISE or the EFL test. And we'll go deeper into the other steps for admissions on the next slide. Completion of your associate's degree, applicable SAT or ACT or HiSET, and AP scores for English and for math. And for all of you with CCP, we will be, as you know, with the high school transcript, that is what we will take into consideration. Application process, a very simple, streamlined process. The first step would be to complete that North Carolina residency determination. Then we will complete the admissions application. We will submit our transcripts, info session, if required by the program, complete the new student orientation, meet with an academic advisor, complete e-learning if you're taking any online classes, and I'm sure many of you have taken advantage of that, so that's probably already done, and register for classes. You apply at apply.wigtech.edu. New student orientation. Some of the information that you will learn inside of there would be more about financial aid, course registration and student services, tips for success in the classroom. You will learn more about navigating Wake Tech from a student leader. who does those presentations and explore more about our athletic programs, activities, and clubs and organizations. Orientation.wicktech.edu. And we talked about the e-learning. So if you have not taken any online classes and now you're deciding that you want to explore online learning, make sure that you visit or complete this assessment for e-learning. Financial aid office. We'll talk more about this, but I wanted to introduce it to you so that you would know that we consider it to be a part of the admissions process because we like to just share that information with you. Types of financial aid available are grants, scholarships, loans, and work study. FAFSA.gov, FAFSA.gov for that free application. And for tuition, we're just going to briefly talk about tuition and then my time is up. So in-state, $76 per credit hour. If you're out of state, that tuition will be $268 per credit hour. There are some fees that are applicable. There's a $3 fee per credit for the computer use and technology use, $35 for student activity fees, and then there's an $85 for campus access fee. 12 or more credits is considered, or 12 or more credits are considered to be full-time as it relates to financial aid. Scholarship opportunities, make sure that you explore all the opportunities that the college has for scholarships. We have the President Scholarship. We also have the SGA Association, Student Ambassadors, Athletics, Wake Tech Foundation. Wake Tech Foundation Scholarship is up currently, and it will close, I want to say April 1st. Somebody help me with that. But Wake Tech Foundation, you can access that scholarship at scholarships.waketech.edu. Please take advantage of that application. It's a really streamlined process, not long at all, not difficult at all. And then Wake Tech scholarships, we talked about that. The application, and here it is. So apply between March 1st and April 30th. And this will be applicable, the scholarship will be applicable for both the fall of 2023 and the spring of 2024. Scholarships.waketech.edu. And just a recap, I know I gave you a lot, just a recap of what's needed for the admissions to complete the admissions here at Wake Tech. Explore your career options, apply to the college, apply.waketech.edu. You can access both the residency application there as well as the Wake Tech application. Attend the new student orientation, complete the e-learning assessment if that's needed for you, and then attend your advising appointment. Elvin mentioned it early on. Please make sure that you register if you have not to attend our open house, which is this Saturday on both Scott Northern Campus and Perry Health Sciences. If you want to reach us, we have different options. You can email us at admissions. I think I forgot the @ symbol there, admissions@waketech.edu. You can also make a virtual appointment with us, virtualsupport.waketech.edu. Contact our admissions office at this number, or you can dial 919-866-5420. Connect with us also on social media at Wake Tech Admit. Thank you all.
All right, let's give a virtual round of applause to Molly. So wonderful job, Molly, with that information. Next up, we'll have Mr. Rawson Notice, our financial aid outreach specialist. He's going to cover financial aid. So Ross, take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Like I said, my name is Ross. I'm a financial aid specialist, which means I'm one of the people that actually processes financial aid. So I'm intimately aware of how it works here in our system. So if you have questions, of course, I'll be happy to answer any. Hopefully this presentation answers a lot for you, though. All right, so the first step you need to know about financial aid really is that you have to do a FAFSA. You heard, I think Molly mentioned, it's just an acronym that stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Pay attention, that first F is free. There's no reason to pay anyone to help you do your FAFSA. We'll help you at Wake Tech, virtually or in person. I'll be happy to make sure you get it done. You go to studentaid.gov to submit it, and you need to set up an FSA ID. That's your federal student aid ID. You use that for your any federal student aid website, the main one being the FAFSA. And you need to use your social security number. When you're doing this, setting up your FSA ID, make sure you put your correct social security number in. If you're working with your parent, don't have them accidentally put theirs in. We match the social security numbers to the one in our system. Make sure we get your FAFSA data in. And October 1st is the open date for the FAFSA. At least the last few years, there's rumors that they might open it a little earlier this upcoming for this upcoming year, but we don't know for sure yet. Right now, though, if you're trying to come, this fall, it opened last October 1st. All right, so here's some important deadlines to know. Now, these deadlines don't mean that if you miss them, you can't get financial aid for that semester or anything. It just means we can't guarantee your financial aid will be awarded before the semester starts. There's still a good chance it will be. We just can't promise it at that point. So note these dates here. June 1st to get the FAFSA done for the fall semester, and then July 1st you have to turn paperwork in. Also, make sure you're completing the correct FAFSA. When you go to the website, there's 2 FAFSAs available. Okay, and they're named for the school year. So if you're starting, our school year goes fall, spring, summer. So you see down below, if you're coming for the fall of 2023, that's the 2023/2024 FAFSA. Okay. Little question I say there: does everyone need to do the FAFSA even if you don't want to use it? I suggest you go ahead and do it. A lot of scholarships ask you to complete the FAFSA ahead of time. Even if you don't qualify for financial aid. So that's something you probably want to go ahead and do. But anyways, yeah, make sure you're doing the correct FAFSA. 23 we're in right now for spring 23, and the summer is part of that year. And of course, next year, the fall, spring, and summer is 23-24. All right. You heard me mention documentation. 30 to 40% of students have to submit additional documentation after they complete their FAFSA and we get it in our system and process it. It's just a federal regulation. The Federal Department of Education doesn't tell us exactly why everyone has to submit documentation when they do. We see patterns. If people are not accurate with their data on their FAFSA, they're more likely to be selected for this process. If they leave blanks on the FAFSA, they're more likely to be selected. So it's important when you're doing the FAFSA to complete it as accurately as possible and as completely as possible. There is some random element there we think as well, but again, the feds don't tell us exactly how someone's selected for this process. If you are selected, though, you are required to submit documents and us collect all of them and process them before you can get your financial aid awarded. So it is necessary and required for you to do so if you were selected for this process. Some of the documents you may need to turn in if you're selected for this process includes your tax transcript or a tax return, a W-2, the verification form that we have online, documents about yours or maybe your parents' marital status. And a lot of this could be yours or your parents' information, sometimes both. This is not really part of verification, but something to reiterate. You want to make sure admissions gets a copy of your official high school transcript, okay? We can't award financial aid to students. You're not eligible for financial aid unless we have an official high school transcript on file. For financial aid purposes, that means a transcript that's submitted from your high school after your date of graduation. So a lot of students submit one early when they apply to Wake Tech, and that's great. It helps advisors tell you what classes you need to take and everything. But you have to submit another one after your official graduation date before you're eligible for financial aid. Okay. Most students under 24 years of age are considered dependent students, even if you're living on your own. So if you go out and get an apartment or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to put parent information on the FAFSA. Dependent students do need to put this parent information on the FAFSA or we can't process it. There are some exceptions, some listed below here. If you're a veteran or a current active duty military, if you were in foster care after age 13, if you're currently homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. There are certain, like I said, exceptions. You'd want to check with us basically in financial aid to see if you may qualify for one of those if you're not sure. There's a list of questions on the FAFSA as you're completing it. It will tell you, if you look at each of those questions, read it carefully, it'll pretty self-explanatory, but we're happy to clear up any questions you may have. All right. You also have to be in what's called an eligible program to be able to get financial aid. Okay. You have to be in either an associate's degree program or one of the eligible diploma or certificate programs. There's a link, I believe, on our website that lists all these programs. Pretty much all the associate's degrees are, and a lot of our diploma programs and certificate programs are also eligible for financial aid. Check with your academic advisor when you're getting registered for classes to make sure you're signing up for classes that are needed for you to complete that program. If you're taking a class and it's not required for you to complete that program, that class won't count towards your financial aid hours. We'll let you know, though. You get an automated email if you sign up for a class that's not actually part of your program, or you end up not being in a program that's eligible for financial aid. We'll send you, but you submit a FAFSA, we'll send you an email saying, hey, you applied for financial aid, but you didn't apply. You're not in a program that's eligible. So we'll let you know. All right. So you mentioned, I think Molly mentioned something about full-time financial aid eligibility. That's 12 credit hours. The most common type of financial aid that students get at Wake Tech is the federal Pell Grant. And we award it based on 12 or more credit hours, because we don't know. A lot of times we award financial aid before you sign up for classes. And so we award it as if you're going to be in full-time hours. Okay. Now, you don't have to take full-time classes just to get financial aid necessarily. You can see this chart here. There's sort of a sliding scale based on the number of credit hours you sign up for. The loan program, federal direct Stafford loans, and North Carolina state grants like the Education Lottery Scholarship and North Carolina Community College Grant, you have to be in at least 6 credit hours. Loans are sort of either or at 6, and state grants are 6 hours or more on a sliding scale, sort of like Pell Grants. All right. I mentioned how we award based on if you're full-time status, because we don't know how many hours you're going to end up in, because you might decide to drop or add classes before classes start, of course. So what we do is we adjust your awards after attendance is verified, okay? But your self-service should show the prorated amount once you register for classes. Now, it may not update in real time. It might be the next day it updates. So just keep that in mind. And then after about 10% of the semester's over, we have what's called the census date. And then your grants, the amount financially you're getting at that point is frozen. Okay. And that's the number of credit hours that you're actually eligible for, that you're in will determine your eligibility for financial aid. You can add classes, but they won't necessarily count towards your financial aid. And you could withdraw or drop a class if you decide to take a mini master class or something, but they won't affect the amount of financial aid you get. Books. Now, this looks like this is actually changing. Actually, just in the last few days, we've heard about how books process may work. The short answer, though, or the short thing to remember about books is you can use financial aid for books or materials for class, whether it's lab kits or whatever, as long as you have your financial aid awarded, ahead of time. And they usually open about 10 days prior to the start of the semester to use financial aid in the bookstore. You can do it online or in person at the bookstore. All right. This is everyone's favorite part. Refunds. The way financial aid works is you often will end up getting more financial aid than your tuition and fees and whatnot cost. Okay. What that means is you may end up get money coming to you, and you can use it for whatever you need. The idea is it's used for what they call educational expenses. That's what the Department of Education calls these different types of expenses. These include things like transportation, so gas for your car, or a car payment, bus tickets, food, right? You got to eat so you can go to school. Um, Rent or mortgage or something like that. It's intended to help cover your living expenses in general. So keep that in mind. This money is for you, but the idea is use it for these things, but it's not tracked at all. No one, asks you a few months later what you spend that money on. So what that means is essentially you need to go to a website that you'll get an email about once you sign up for, or once you get your financial aid awarded around the beginning of the semester, and they will say, uh, go to refundselection.com. That's a company's website called Bank Mobile that we contract with to handle all our refunds. And most students just essentially sign up for direct deposit. So the money goes, their refund money is directly into their bank account. Bank Mobile is a FDIC insured bank, just like any bank. They just don't have physical locations. They're all online. So if you don't have a bank account, you can set one up with them. That's a possibility. But yeah, just be aware if you do get that email telling you to go to that website, it's legit. That website could be named better in my opinion, but that's the website name they use that you would go to set up your refund preference. Okay, something important to remember, and this affects CCP students especially because you might already have academic credit at Wake Tech. To maintain eligibility for financial aid, you have to maintain what the Department of Education calls satisfactory academic progress. What that means is essentially you have to have a 2.0 cumulative GPA. That includes pre-curriculum credits. So if you took classes that start with a 0 level instead of a 100 or 200 level, they would be included. And then 67% completion rate. You basically have to finish 2/3 of the credit hours you sign up for and start. Okay, so if you drop a class before the beginning of the semester, that doesn't count against you. But if you withdraw from a class halfway through the semester, that counts as you not finishing it. Getting an F also counts as not finishing it. But to maintain eligibility, you have to meet both of those requirements. If after end of so at the end of every semester, we calculate every student in the college's SAP, their satisfactory academic progress, okay? And then if at the end of that semester, you're below one or both of those minimums, you go on what we call warning status. That means the next semester, you're getting, you can still get financial aid, but you're on that warning status. At the end of that warning semester, we check your SAP status again, just like we do every semester. And if you got both of those above the minimum, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You just want to keep maintaining the good grades and everything. If at the end of that warning semester, you're below one or both of those minimums, you end up suspended from financial aid. That's different than being suspended from Wake Tech. It just means you're not eligible for federal or state financial aid. If you have maybe a scholarship from a third party or something, you might still be eligible for that, but that sort of federal and state aid is what you wouldn't be eligible for. It's not the end of the world, though. I think the next slide talks about. Oh no, we'll get into it in a second. It's not the end of the world, though. We'll go over why in a second. Dropping and withdrawing, these are two different terms. I myself am guilty of sometimes using one when I mean the other, but they are very different when it comes to financial aid. Dropping means you drop a class before the semester starts or within that very short time, around a week into the semester. That's called the schedule adjustment period or drop add period. Dropping a class then is okay, and adding a class then is okay, and it will count towards your financial aid. Withdrawing means you leave a class later on in the semester, basically. Withdrawing does hurt that completion rate. Dropping does not. Okay. Withdrawing after 60% point, if you're failing a class, is just like getting an F. So, you may want to rethink that. Might be worth trying to see if you can squeeze out a D. But withdrawing can decrease the amount of financial aid that's dispersed because it might be before that census date when you determine how many credit hours you're in. If you withdraw all your classes, you might end up having to, and your financial aid is already dispersed, you might end up having to pay some of that financial aid back. We won't know until later in the semester. There's a big calculation that has to be done at the end of every semester for every student that's withdrawn. And at that point, we would be able to tell you. What I'll say is regarding dropping withdrawing in general, unless it's way before the semester starts, come see us in financial aid, contact us via email or set up an appointment or call us and ask about your particular situation because it can be different for all sorts of different reasons, and we'd need to see your account and see how it would affect you. All right, SAP appeals. This is what I was going to mention, but we want to go over that dropping withdrawing. Even if you end up suspended, it's not the end of the world. There is an appeal process. You do have to provide documentation. So if it's something awful happened, maybe you had a death in the family, or you were really sick in the hospital for a few weeks, you can get some sort of documentation showing these sort of circumstances. We can usually get your appeal approved, and you can get financial aid on probationary status. If you there is a schedule we review the appeals on. It does take a few weeks, usually, because we get a lot of appeals usually all at once, and a lot of them have they all have documentation attached. It takes a while to review them all. If an appeal is approved, you're getting on that probationary status. You can get financial aid again, but you have to get all C's or higher, and you can't have any withdrawals, or you end up suspended again. So it's a little stricter at that point. Maximum time frame. This can also affect CCP students sometimes. Usually when you're about to graduate from Wake Tech, or if you decide to switch programs, this is usually the students that this affects. Basically, the Federal Department of Education limits financial aid to 150% of the required credit hours for you to graduate a program. The example here is if you're in a 60 credit hour program, which is pretty standard for one of our like associate arts programs, you can get 90 credits of financial aid, okay, before you're cut off, essentially, okay? Pre-curriculum credits don't count, but any credit you've taken, even as a CCP student, does count towards this, okay? Now, if you hit that 150%, that's okay. You can file an appeal. It's sort of like the SAP appeals. You just have to have a, documentation and whatnot to back it up, just like the SAP appeal. Pell Grant limits. There is a limited amount of Pell Grant you can get. The easy way to think about it is there's 12 semesters of Pell Grant you can get. Now, that's if you're full-time. If you're half-time, you could get 24 semesters of Pell Grant, essentially. It's calculated by percentage, it's a weird way to do it. 600% with 50% going full-time, 12 hours is 50%. That's how you get those 12 semesters. If you take 9, it's 37.5%. So you see, it can be sort of weird if you take a different amount of classes each semester. You can always check how much you've used by going to studentaid.gov, that same website, and logging in with your FSA ID, which is your same login information for your FAFSA, to see how much you've used. All right. State grant limits. You heard me mention the Education Lottery Scholarship and the Community College Grant, I think. Those are limited not by some sort of weird percentage thing. They make it simpler. They just do semesters. Community College Grant, you're limited to 6. Education Lottery Scholarships, 10. Now, if you decide to transfer from the Wake Tech to one of the state schools, NC State, Carolina, App, whatever, these state grants are sort of combined. The Community College Grant and the UNC system grant, you're limited to 10 overall semesters of that too. It's sort of an equivalent at UNC system schools to our community college grant. So those two combined are limited to 10, just like Education Lottery Scholarships limited to 10. Self-service, this is the website you go to check all sorts of stuff, okay? All the information you need about financial aid, you should be able to find on your self-service portal. You can see if we have your FAFSA, if we've received it, any required documentation you have to turn in. You can sign your terms and conditions. You can check, see if there's any loan requirements if you decide to use student loans, if you've met those requirements. Your SAP status, if you've maintained that satisfactory academic progress from semester to semester. Contact information for me or whoever's assigned to handle your financial aid. We divide the students at Wake Tech into alphabet. I currently handle people whose last names start with H and I. But we split it up so you can get access to directly your financial aid advisor that's going to be processing your account. It has a link to their phone number and their email address. Your financial aid award, once you're awarded, and then your expected refund. Keep in mind that can change based on if you drop or withdraw from classes. All right, here's just an example of what the self-service portal can look like. This page, they haven't even turned in a FAFSA, so everything else is not even available. We don't know what else they'll need to do because we don't have their FAFSA yet. The next one, as if they've done everything. It's all green, shows completed, shows their loan history, has their financial aid counselor at the bottom with a link to their information, and it also shows the percent of your Pell that you've used out of that 600%. So this student's used basically 2 full-time semesters and 1 semester at 9 to 11 credit hours. You can see that from the percentage there. It gets weird into 3 decimal places sometimes if someone got Pell Grant but withdrew partway through a semester. It gets sort of weird. It's not that big a deal though once you get down to the decimal places. This is sort of a breakdown of their loans, and up at the top, you can see their charges minus their expected financial aid equals the amount of the expected refund. Now, this is from an earlier semester, but it works the same now. You can see that refund, though, like I said, if you withdraw from a class or you drop a class before the semester starts or during drop add, that can affect all those numbers. Obviously, it affects your charges. If you drop before classes start, you're not going to be charged for that class, but you may not be eligible for as much financial aid either. So come see us if you have questions about dropping or withdrawing a class. You want to know if it'll affect your financial aid. I recommend every student check with us before doing that if they're using financial aid. And then I think we had some questions while I was talking. We can also, I think, maybe do questions at the end. I'll be here the whole evening. So if you think of questions during, later in the presentation or someone else's presentation, I'll still be here. So if you have questions, just put them in the chat. We'll get them answered for you. Thank you.
All right, let's give a virtual round of applause to Ross. Wonderful job, Ross. Thank you for that. Very valuable information. All right. Next up, we're going to have Tori Hallberg, one of our academic advisors, to discuss academic advising. So, Tori, take it away. Oh, you're on mute, Tori. Oh, try it again.
You would think that after
There we
3
go.
years we would learn.
Right.
Thank you so much. All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well tonight. As was mentioned, my name's Tori. I'm one of the academic advisors here at the college. I'm just here to talk to you a little bit about what we do and how we can help you as you're getting started as a regular student at Wake Tech. So just to give you a little bit of information, we serve a little over 20,000 curriculum students here at Wake Tech, 70,000 students overall between all of our programs. And we offer more than 200 associate's degrees, diplomas, and certificates. And we have campuses all kind of across the Raleigh, Garner, Knightdale area. So just a quick look at our degree programs and the kind of differences between what we offer. If you're in this presentation, I assume that most of you are probably going for those degree programs. Those are the ones that are going to lead you towards an associate's degree or a diploma or a certificate. So most likely those of you in this presentation are probably going in that direction. And I'll talk a little bit more about each of those here in a second. But basically those are kind of our traditional college level classes. Those are the classes that you can use financial aid for. And those are the classes that run on that kind of consistent fall, spring, summer schedule. Our non-degree classes are more for students who are maybe wanting to just, take a class for fun here and there, or who are wanting very specific certifications, things like real estate, like you can get your notary certification, things like that. They're offered on a more kind of infrequent basis and can, be just 2 weeks long instead of a full semester long. Or just 1 day long, depending on the class you're taking, and those classes are not eligible for FAFSA. So we have a lot of different programs, and depending on what your goals are, you could be wanting different things. So if you're confused about which of those you fall under, just come talk to us in advising and we'll let you know. So to go a little bit further into those degree programs, they're kind of broken down into 2 major umbrellas. So we have our university transfer programs. So these are our programs that are designed for students who want to do their 2 years at Wake Tech, complete their associate's degree, and then go on to transfer to a university for their 4-year bachelor's degree. So our 4 main associate's degree in the university transfer programs are the associate in arts degree, the associate in science degree, the associate in engineering degree, and then the associate in fine arts degree. So depending on what major you want to pursue when you transfer out to the university level is going to lead you into one of these 4 programs. So if you're wanting to study something in the humanities, and by that I mean, English, history, political science, psychology, social work, anything like that, you're going to fall into that associate in arts category. Even some things that may not seem automatically to fall in that category, like business and nursing, sometimes will fall under that associate in arts category. So if any of those things sound like the things you're interested in pursuing or things that you eventually want a career in, you know that the associate in arts degree is the path that you want to go down. The associate in science degree is going to be exactly what it sounds like. It's going to lead students into specifically math and science-based careers. So if you are wanting to go into any sort of pre-health track, if you're wanting to study mathematics, couldn't be me, I've got 2 English degrees, but if that's what you want to do, then great, we need people who do it. If you're wanting to study biology, chemistry, any of those kind of like quote unquote hard sciences, you're going to go for the associate in science degree, unless you want to study engineering. If you want to study engineering in the long term, the best path for you at Wake Tech is going to be the associate in engineering degree. And it will allow you to transfer over to any of the UNC system schools that have engineering programs. And then same goes for that associate in fine arts degree. You'll see, some of these are pretty self-explanatory. If you're wanting to study specifically visual arts, you're going to want to go for that associate in fine arts degree. Ours does just focus on visual arts. So if you're wanting to go for something more like in theater or in music, the associate in arts degree may be the better path. But again, these things are so specific that if you're unsure, you can always just meet with an advisor and we can talk you through the best program for you. All right, so our other kind of umbrella is our associate in applied science programs. So these are programs for students who don't necessarily want to transfer to a four-year university. That just might not be something that they want. Students in these programs are normally completing their two-year degree at Wake Tech and then going straight into the workforce, starting to make that money. So you're going to be doing a lot more hands-on work with these programs, the associate and applied science programs. And some of them will transfer if you end up wanting that option later on down the line. But their options are just a bit more limited than with our true university transfer programs. So again, some of this is very individual. So if you are in a program and you're wondering if it's a university transfer or if it's an associate in applied science, we'll look at it with you and we'll talk about the differences in terms of where it will transfer, what it could allow you to do long-term, and just make sure that you're on the right path for what your long-term goals are. And those associate of applied science programs also usually have certificates and diplomas that are built into them, which are shorter term programs that allow you to earn certifications or diplomas within that same field that you're in. So for example, IT is a big program in our Associate of Applied Science track. So you may be getting your big associate's degree in cybersecurity, but then you could have a certificate that you're also earning in Cisco networking. All right, so I know that's a lot of information, but basic thing to know is university transfer is going to transfer to the universities in the North Carolina system, and then Associate of Applied Science, you may have different opportunities. So when you're ready to have that conversation of which program do I need to be in, what classes do I need to take, everything like that, you're just going to follow this first time advising timeline. So as CCP students, most of you have probably completed these first two steps, but if you haven't, make sure that you've completed that new student orientation and your e-learning intro. And that new student orientation can be completed in person or online. And the e-learning intro you will complete through Blackboard. After you've gotten those two steps done, checked off those things, then you can come meet with an advisor. And I'm going to give you more information about where and how you can do that closer to the end of the presentation. But you're going to meet with us. We're going to help you plan out make sure you're on that right path with what your goals are. And then we're going to help you plan out whatever classes we think are going to be best for you in your first semester. After that, you will pay your tuition, however you do that, whether that's through financial aid, which we would definitely encourage. If you can get that free money, we want you to get that as much as you can. And then after that, you'll procure your ID card and your parking decal and your textbooks, and then you show up on your first day of class. So that's kind of your basic timeline. All right, so when to see an advisor. These are the things that we really specialize in here in advising. So again, if you want to learn about your program requirements, so if you're in that Associate of Applied Science degree and you want to know what all you need to take before you graduate, that's going to be us. We also recommend that you come in to plan your semester courses as much as you can, especially this first time around as you're kind of figuring out how everything works. And then if you ever decide that you want to change your program, or even if you just want to add, a program, if you're in an associate's degree and you want to add a certificate, you would come in to us and we would help you do that. And then if you are coming in as a transfer student, which might not be very many of you, but or if you're wanting to learn more about the specific transfer process, if you come to me and say, okay, I'm in the associate in science program here, and I want to transfer to ECU for biology. We can talk specifically about what classes you would need to take at Wake Tech so that you can guide yourself to seamlessly transfer, or at least apply to transfer over to ECU when you're finished at Wake Tech. And then we also will get you connected to any campus resources if you let us know that there's something that you're needing to get connected to. All right. So here's a little breakdown of what we do for you and for what we're looking for you to bring when you come to an advising appointment. So we're here, we're super friendly, we're super understanding. So don't be afraid to come to advising. We're all there to help you. That's why we do this. So just know that you're always going to see a welcoming face when you come in. We're always going to give you honest and realistic information and feedback. You know, if you tell us that you want to transfer to NC State and you're in a program that doesn't transfer to NC State, we're going to make sure you know that so you know what lines up with what you want. We're also, like I said, going to give you access to all of the college support and resources that you could want or need. If we don't have the answer for you, we will get you connected to a person who does have the answer so that we make sure that you're getting all the answers you need and getting all of the information that you need in order to be successful. We also are here to help you understand any college policies. So once you guys get started, if you're having a hard time understanding your GPA and how it's calculated, if you have questions about, your academic progress or anything like that, we would be happy to help you understand and implement those procedures. And then also, we're just going to encourage you to get involved on campus. We're going to try to get you involved in student life and make sure that you're enjoying your time at Wake Tech as much as possible. So as we're doing that for you, what we ask when you come in is just to also bring that welcoming energy as well. We want to help you. We want this to be a friendly experience. And then just be prepared to talk about what you want to do and what your goals are. It's a lot easier for me to help you as an advisor if you say, you know, this is what I'm interested in, even if you don't know exactly what you want to major in. If you say, these are my interests, that can help me a little bit in terms of your plan. So be ready to talk about, you know, your goals and what you might want to do long term. And then just make sure you're really engaged in what you're wanting to do. We want you to succeed, but you also have to be invested in that success as well. So just make sure you're bringing that energy in when you come meet with us. And prior knowledge about any of your academic experiences. So if you know that math is not your strong suit and you think that you should take a math that's maybe not quite as difficult as like calculus, let us know that so we don't try to tell you to take calculus. And then just make sure that you have the ability to register for classes by the time you get to us. Basically, for you all, that just means making sure that you have that new student orientation and e-learning intro done, and that you don't have any sort of holds on your account that are going to keep you from registering. All right, so this is kind of how to meet with an advisor. All of our in-person appointments are offered on a walk-in basis. So you can come to any of our campuses and do walk-in appointments at the Southern, Northern, RTP, and Perry Health campuses. So if you're in a university transfer program, you can go to Southern, Northern, or RTP. If you're in health science, so any of the health science programs at all, you want to go straight over to Perry Health, because if you come to one of the different campuses, we won't be able to advise you and we'll have to send you over to Perry Health anyway. So we're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. 4:30 p.m. is the latest we'll see a student, but we're open until 5. So anytime you want to have an advising conversation, or if you've gotten through those steps and you're ready to plan your first semester of classes, you can come on in during any of those times and we can help you with that. If you're not able, just due to your schedule or due to other things going on, to come in for advising, you can also schedule a virtual appointment, which would take place over Teams, just like this. And those are offered for extended hours. So we offer those up until 8 p.m. on Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, we offer them from 8 to 5 because we like our weekends too. And just know that if you do schedule a virtual appointment, you'll have to have your Wake Tech email set up, because that's where the invitation is going to go for you to join the Teams meeting. And all of that information about where the campus locations are, how to schedule a virtual appointment, everything like that is at that website that's listed there, which is just waketech.edu/student-services/advising. If you Google advising Wake Tech, it'll bring you right to the page that has everything you need. All right. And lastly, I just, and I know some of these have been mentioned, but you can tell we're really trying to drive it home so that you guys use these resources. They're there for you. They're part of your experience, so we want you to have them. Career Services is an amazing resource if you really just have no idea what you want to do. So if you're coming in and you're like, I don't know what I'm interested in, I don't know what I want to have a career in, you can go to Career Services and sit down with a career specialist, and they'll guide you through some assessments to kind of help you understand what you're good at, you know, what you might want to do long term, and then get you connected with a program that might allow you to do that. And then we have the ILC Center. They're always going to offer you personalized tutoring in different subjects. So they have math, English, all of the kind of core categories for sciences, or for classes, I'm sorry. And they'll offer in-person, virtual, and in-person walk-in and appointment hours. And then we have the Care Center, which I know you guys got some information on, but basically, if you are experiencing any sort of barriers to your success, and you need help or need to see if we can offer help to remove that barrier, we're going to get you connected with the Care Center, because they're just a big umbrella for all of the things that we can do to offer you help, basically. Disability support services, if you have any sort of disability that you're dealing with and that you need to get accommodations for while you're at Wake Tech, we can get you set up with their office. Specifically, like if you had an IEP or student success plan in high school and you want those accommodations to continue as you're coming into Wake Tech, that would be the office you would want to start with. And then if any of you are in a family with military members or veteran members, or if you are a military or veteran member, we can get you connected to their office to get specific help with any sort of the funding or questions that you might have that specifically deal with those types of students. All right, and I know we'll have questions at the end, but we're always here to help. Like I said, this is what we do, this is what we live for. So if you ever have a question about anything, you can always email us. It's probably the fastest way that we'll respond overall as an office. And that's just advising@waketech.edu. And then I also have my contact information there, since this is a friendly face, so you guys know that you can email me and ask me questions if you need them. And I am on the Northern Wake campus, so if you want to come in for an appointment and see someone that you are familiar with, you can ask for me for sure. Right.
All right, let's give a virtual round of applause to Tori. Wonderful job, Tori. All right, to round us out for the evening in terms of our presentations, we have Tamika. So Tamika, take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Tamika, and I am the Registration Services Coordinator. And for this evening, you can go ahead to the next one. So for this evening, I'll be focusing on things to do before you're able to register, using self-service or how to navigate through self-service, scary messages or those warning messages that you may receive, what to do once, what to do once registration is complete. I'll also go over how to pay for your courses, and last but not least, important dates to remember. Now, before you can register for your courses, a lot of these things you guys may have already heard. However, just going to go over it again, just so that way you can take some notes and be prepared in any way that you can. So the first step, of course, is admissions. Of course, you have to register, go through that process. I think a lot of you have already done that, and do the application process. Next, you'll meet with your academic advisor. The third step is the new student orientation. I know it's been a lot of just conversation about new student orientation and the e-learning. So again, if you guys have already completed this step, you're good to go. Now, if you have not already completed the e-learning, I know a lot of students, they come in with the thought process of only taking seated courses. And what happens is they realize that some of the courses that they want to pursue are being offered in abundance online. But the thing is, and let's say if there are only a few more seats left and it is an online course, it kind of puts you at a disadvantage because you have to kind of backtrack, do the e-learning, and while you're doing that process, those seats can be getting snatched up. So even if you have the mindset of I'm only taking seated courses, I still encourage you to take or complete the e-learning. That way, if you change your mind or if you decide to explore an online course, you've already completed that process. Now, using self-service, this is my absolute favorite part. So with self-service, it's tailored to you. You go in, this is where you would register for your courses. A lot of you have probably already set up your key accounts and you have access to it, but maybe you haven't explored it. So if not, we're going to take some time right now and I'll just show you like the highlighted pages within self-service that you would access or that you would utilize to register for your courses. You'll use your WakeTech username and your passcode. And once you're in, this is how your screen would appear. And student planning is going to be that tab that you'll select that would get you to your calendar. So that way you can go ahead and start planning your schedule. Once you select student planning, it'll be the second option here, which is plan your degree and register for your classes. You'll select that go to plan and schedule. One thing I do love, love, love about self-service is you're able to tailor your schedule to your lifestyle. So if you already have other obligations, maybe you work or, you have other things outside, of course, of your educational goals, you're able to lay your schedule out by filtering through. Another thing I wanted to highlight as well is when you're meeting with advising, um, on the left-hand side is where all of those courses will appear that you've discussed with advising. So when you come over to my department, all of those classes will already be lined up for you. You'll select filter sections. And this right here will appear. You'll notice across the top of the screen, you have the availability, your location, days of the week, time of the day, and then also the instructor. So as you are taking your courses your first semester, if you connect with an instructor, you can also filter those classes and see if they're offering a course, maybe it's another level of English or math that you're required to take. You can see if that instructor is also teaching that next level of the course. But again, you can kind of play around with the filters here. You can filter it by location, again, the day of the week. And as you are selecting those options, what is available based off of your interest will appear here on the left-hand side of the screen. Also, too, I encourage students to take a peek in the center of the screen because as you are highlighting or rolling your mouse over those classes, it kind of gives you an idea of what your schedule will look like. So you can kind of plug in if you're an early riser and you want to take early morning courses starting as early as 8 o'clock, you have that option. And then you can also take evening courses as well. But you'll notice here on the example, the classes here, and it even shows you how many classes are offered. So for example, if you're taking an English course and you want to take that class over at North Campus, it'll show you, let's say if there are 15 available classes, it'll break it down for you and it'll let you know even the number of seats available in that class, how many seats are already taken, and also if there is a wait list for that class as well. Once you select the class that fits your schedule and your lifestyle, you'll select Add Section. And then you'll notice here on the first example, you'll see where it has the register button there. This is extremely important because what happens is a lot of students will come in, they'll have that conversation with the advisor, they'll come over, we'll plan their schedule out. And then at the start of class, they'll say, I don't have any classes, or I showed up to class and I wasn't on the roster. The class is not appearing in my Blackboard. It is extremely important that you click that register button, and you'll know that you have successfully registered for the class because it will read right here, registered but not started. That lets you know that you are registered for the course, but the start date has not come up. So again, that class has not actually started. Again, another way that you'll know that you have successfully registered for the class is it will change to a green highlighted color, like on your actual calendar in the center of the example to my right. You'll notice that it changes in green even on the calendar as well. So that lets you know that you have successfully registered and you're good to go. There is also another way here. Let's say if you go over to advising, all of your courses are perfectly lined out or laid out for you, and you mistakenly delete a class. No worries, you can come back here to this page here. You can type that class in, and it will show you all of the classes that are available. If you know the exact section number that you had planned, or you have a section in mind that you want to pursue, we can find that class for you as long as you know those digits. And again, these are things that myself and my department or my team can help you with. So don't stress about it. It's not, something that's hard to fix. It's just a matter of finding the exact section that you want that aligns with your schedule. You'll type it here in the search bar, you'll do your search, and all of those classes will come up. And you'll notice I'm sorry, Elvin. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. So you'll also notice too that to the left-hand side of the screen, you still have your filters there, but it just appears differently. So this is just another view when you are searching those courses. This is just another layout or another view. But again, you'll see that it has the locations, and you'll have all of the same options there to the left-hand side of the screen, just a different view. All right. So scary messages that may appear in your self-service portal. The first one is the e-learning intro. Again, in order to pursue an online class, you have to take the e-learning. Another thing too is the portal will not even allow you to register for an online class if you have not completed it. It will give you that error message, like it'll keep kicking you back. And as you can see, you have the drop down there. It'll let you know, nope, you got to go back and take it. Any business holds or outstanding balances, you must take care of those before you're able to register. And then here, admissions or advising holds, anything that pops up within those departments, you have to go back to them to take care of those. New student orientation, again, another requirement that you have to complete before registering. Now, the wait list, it can get a little wonky, just a little bit, but the wait list has certain dates in place. So you can add yourself to a wait list for a class, but let's say if you do not get a seat in that class before the wait list goes away, that means at that point, you would be responsible for continuously checking the self-service portal to see if that class opens back up. Let's see. And then also residency, another very, very, very important component of the registration process. But again, by the time you get to the registrars or the point of registering, your residency should be, already taken care of. But again, I work very closely with our residency tech. So if you have any questions or concerns, that is something that I am able to help you with in detail. All right, so once your registration is complete, you want to check your schedule. I cannot express to you guys how important it is. Now, if you're feeling very confident about taking on self-service, or if you want to do it from home, by all means, you can. But for the first go around, we encourage that you come into the office and get that one-on-one help. I've had a lot of students to come in and they lay out their schedule, it looks beautiful, but then they realize that they registered for a course over at the RTP campus, but really they thought that they were registering for a class at the North Campus. All of the campuses are roughly 20 to 30 minutes apart from each other. Again, that's give or take, depending upon which side of town you live on. But you want to make sure that you are registering for courses at the right location. So again, I encourage you to come to campus, North or South Campus, or book a virtual session to get that help the first go around with self-service. So again, checking your schedule and making sure that your classes are indeed registered for the location that you want to be at is very important. You can pay for your classes through the self-service portal as well. There's a tab there that will allow you to even set up a payment plan. You can also go to the cashier's office and make your payment there if you don't want to do it within self-service. Make sure that you get your ID cards made and your parking decals as well. And then last but not least, the purchase of your books. You can always come into our office and get a print off of your schedule and take it over to the bookstore. Or again, you can pull your schedule from your self-service portal and present it to the bookstore, and they'll know exactly which books you need. So don't stress about that part. As long as you know what classes you need, the bookstore can help you identify which books you would need, textbooks. All right. And I'm sorry, I kind of got ahead of myself. This right here, again, going back to that payment part, you can pay out of pocket. Again, you can go through self-service and pay using your card, or you can go over to the cashier's office and make that payment. Again, through self-service, you can pay through your self-service portal. And again, with your financial aid, you can also, as mentioned earlier in the presentation, you can check your financial aid status in your self-service portal too, to see what coverage you're getting. It is very important that you don't wait until the last minute. Now, your bill will not reflect in your self-service portal until July 1st. That is the start of the actual school year or academic year. So just keep in mind that if you were to register for your classes when the window opens, you might not get a bill immediately, but July 1st is when it will appear. But don't wait until that time, to start putting things in order to get your tuition in order, the payments in order. All right, let's see here. So once you registered, you can pay for your class. Again, this is kind of repeating it again, but on the student finance tab in your self-service portal is where you'll make that payment. And again, this will be found on the left-hand side. Once you're in your self-service portal, it'll be on the left-hand side, that drop down. And you'll even see there where it allows you to do pay in full, pay with the payment plan. So you can kind of explore those options in the portal. Important dates to remember. So the course schedule will open up. So April 3rd is when you'll be able to see what classes are being offered. At that time, you will not be able to register for the courses, but you'll be able to see what classes are being offered. So you can kind of get an idea of what your schedule is. You can lay it out, but you just won't be able to register for them. Self-service or self-registration begins April 13th. Payment deadline is August 2nd. First day of classes are August 14th. And then the last day to drop with a 75% refund would be August 23rd. All right. And then also to keep in mind, we have what we call mini mesters. Mini mesters can be a little bit tricky because they fall in between those 16-week classes. So if that is something that you're interested in pursuing, that is something that we can explore as well. But just keep in mind that the payment deadlines might be slightly different, again, because those are the mini mesters. So again, they kind of fall in between the 16-week semester. These here, of course, we have several other campuses, but these here are campuses that you can go on to get that assistance for registration. Keep in mind that all services are available at the South and Northern campus, meaning that when you walk in, there'll be someone there to assist you. They have a full computer lab. We're able to help you lay out your schedule, and then you can also take care of other things such as transcripts. If you need to make changes to your student profile, such as your name or your change of address, you can do that with on those campuses. Perry Health and the Research Triangle, those two campuses, you can get some assistance with registration, but it's not going to be the same experience that you would have at the South and North. Again, only because they have the full computer lab and there's a full staff there to accommodate. But still, you can, if you live near the Perry Health or the Research Triangle campus, you can still go in to do things such as ordering your transcript or making changes to your student profile. So those options are available. All right, and that concludes my part of the presentation. If you guys have any questions, you can send an email to registrar@waketech.edu. Again, my name is Tamika, and I am located at the North Campus. That's off Lewisburg Roads. Our office is open Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m.
All right, let's give a virtual round of applause to Tamika and the rest of our presenters. So, job well done. And I'm actually gonna ask all of the presenters to come back for our questions and answers portion. So we're about to round out the rest of the event, but this is an opportunity for you all. I know a lot of questions have been coming into the chat area, and we've been assisting with some of those questions, but now it's an opportunity for you all to ask any questions that you may have verbally to those who are with us on tonight. So there is a hand raise emoji at the top of your screen. If you have a question that you want to ask verbally to those who are presented on tonight, utilize that hand raise emoji, and we can unmic or unmute your mics and let you verbally ask your questions. And if you don't want to verbally ask, then definitely utilize the chat to ask any additional questions that you may have. So we'll take about 2 to 3 minutes to answer any questions that you may have for the good of the group. So let's see what we have here. Andrea says on the Wait Tech site, it looks like registration is based on how many credits you have. Yes. So, Tamika, do you want to touch on that real quickly?
Yes, so that is true. So when we have our new students to come in, we do it by priority. So we base it off of the credit hours. What happens is if we open up the window for all students to register at one time, it'll crash the system. And so for the new students, you may have like a time slot. So your time might be 7 o'clock a.m., it might be 10 o'clock a.m., 12, and so forth and so on. So you are in the data or in the system, you can actually see that in your self-service portal. You'll have your registration priority date, and it'll also have the time there. So on April 3rd, again, you're able to go in and lay your schedule out, but you will not be able to click register until or based off of that registration and time, registration priority date and time. Again, that's reflected in your self-service portal.
Yes, and Gina made a great point in the chat area. For students who are attending this event on tonight, that's why I stress the importance of signing in. You will receive priority registration for April 13th as early as 7 a.m. So that will be your registration date and time for attending the event. Right. Malcolm says, not exactly on topic, but when will the exam schedule for this semester be released? And we may need clarification on that question. So when will the exam schedule for this semester be released? Are you talking about final exams or when the courses will be available for the upcoming summer term? Not exactly sure. If Malcolm, if you want to provide clarification, you're more than welcome to. Yes, when will our finals be? I would probably say check your course syllabus for your individualized courses. Tori, I don't know if there's anything that you may want to touch upon as far as academic advising.
Yes, actually, so yeah, final exam schedule will be released April 21st. So there you go.
All right, April 21st. Faith says, how many classes can we take in each semester? Good question. Anybody want to answer?
I can go for that one. So this is one of the conversations we'll have when you come in for your first advising appointment. But essentially, it's kind of up to you and what you have going on in your life at the moment. Usually full-time students, and we've talked about that a couple times throughout the presentation, are taking anywhere from 4 to 6 classes. 6 is on the high end in a semester, whereas part-time students who maybe have bigger work commitments or bigger life commitments are taking 2 to 3 classes a semester. But if you're coming in as a full-time student, you're probably going to take probably about 4 to 5 in your first semester.
Right. All right, and we have time for about one more question, and then we'll move on with some content information, and we'll bring up the sign-in and the survey links for students to get credit and provide their feedback if we have any additional questions. Ian says, do I have to meet with my advisor before I register for classes on April 13th?
We would highly suggest that you do, at least for your first semester, just so we can kind of guide you through it and make sure that you're not signing up for classes that like aren't going to be covered by financial aid or aren't going to be in your degree program or aren't going to transfer if you're wanting to transfer. So we would recommend trying to meet with an advisor before you register for classes.
Yes. And I know someone touched on it earlier in the chat, but for from the CCP side, for students that are seeing that hold notification within self-service, please note that that messaging will be removed by the time registration hits on April 13th. So we have what we call a batch process in which we exit all of our CCP students in preparation to make that transition out of high school into Wake Tech as a regular student. So you all will have that message notification removed, indicating that your hold has been released from CCP, and that will allow you to move forward in the process, pending that you've been admitted in terms of doing RDS, the Wake Tech application, any other restrictive holds or anything like that. But that CCP hold will be removed by April 13th. I don't want to mess your name up, but I'm going to take a shot at it. Nayan Chama says, would we know our advisor before registering for April 13th? I think somebody touched on that. Somebody want to chime in? Tori?
Yeah, so you will get assigned an advisor within your first semester, but for the first time that you come in for advising, you may not have an assigned advisor. So you can just meet with anyone for your first time in advising, and that's just fine. As a first time, just getting started new student, you'll just pair up with whoever is available, and then you'll get your official assignment within that first semester.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, so again, as we conclude our event, just a quick reminder to please sign in if you haven't done so. You will see the QR code and the link to sign in into the event. We also have the link to complete our survey that we have. So we would love to hear your thoughts in terms of how well we did on this evening and any feedback that you all may have for us. You'll also see the contact information for each of the departments that presented on tonight. So if you would like to contact the Office of Admissions, Financial Aid, Academic Advising, and our registration and records offices, you can see the contact there. And they will also provide virtual support at virtualsupport.waketech.edu for more information in regards to those services. So again, before we depart on this evening, make sure that you sign in. We will highly encourage you to complete the survey. And before we conclude on this evening, we're going to spin the big wheel one more time for one lucky contestant or one lucky CCP student to win some Wake Tech swag and a $25 gift card, compliments of North Carolina State Employees Credit Union Bank. So for those who are still hanging with us in attendance, you may want to check to see if your name is still or available on this particular wheel here. So we're going to spin the wheel, and if we can get a drum roll, please. And our second winner of tonight will be Nayan Chama. So congratulations to Nayan Chama. And again, I hope I'm not butchering your name. But congratulations for being our second winner for the CCP Big Wheel. If you're still with us, definitely give us a shout out in the chat area just to make sure that you are still here. But we will, oh, there we go. Yes, so she's still here. we will provide, or we will actually contact you in regards to getting you your Wake Tech swag and your $25 gift card. So definitely congratulations to Nyan Chama as well as Xavier on this evening with our CCP Big Wheel. Again, just a quick reminder, we will have open house on Saturday, April 1st, this upcoming Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on our Scott Northern Wake campus and our Perry Health Sciences campus. So if you have not done so, access that QR code and get registered for the event. You will see each of us there on one of the campuses. I know I'll be at the Scott Northern Wake campus assisting with the academic and resource fair. But if you're looking to meet many of the Wake Tech staff, come out to meet us. We'll have campus tours, some great information sessions, and a host of other things that we have in store for you all. So again, Saturday, April 1st, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on our Scott Northern Wake campus and our Perry Hill Sciences campus for open house spring 2023. And with that being said, we would like to conclude this evening by saying thank you for attending tonight's event. Again, we congratulate you all, our CCP graduating seniors, on finishing out your high school career and making that transition over to Wake Tech or whatever future endeavors that you have. But again, we thank you for attending tonight's event. This event is being recorded, so we will have the available recording on the CCP website, ccp.waketech.edu, so that you can refer back to the video at a later date. So that video will be posted within the next 3 to 5 business days. But again, we thank you for attending.